We start with the easy questions.
So it is easy. It is easy turn when you spend some years as an entrepreneur, and sometimes you're like too tired from build new company. You started to think what to do around, and after you see guys coming to you and asking money, you give them money, giving them some advices, and after you see why I'm doing this alone, better to have the team and to have more money and to have shared risk. Okay, let's do investment. Since you saw, let's say, not so smart investment from other side of the table, possibly I will be better. But with time, you become so same stupid investor on the front of young, great entrepreneurs. And you remember yourself and told, yeah, you need to give them chance, since sometimes somebody didn't give you chance. So it is how I became the investors, I will say.
You have also a background from science and space. I mean, they are very different, especially for the venture capitals. So how do you define now when you also listen to the startups?
It just was a long, long time ago. I didn't have other choice to become scientist or to work for defense of Soviet Union in space and build the space stuff. It was fun and everything, but life is life. So, and I needed to find my way in new country and decided, okay, so it is great to be the guy who is managing huge amount of money and huge amount of engineers. But how about to build companies? It is slightly different, especially at this time I met some microsystem guys, Bill Joy and others. And they gave me like, okay, so this guy started from scratch and built some big company. And how long I will work for government? Let's step down and try to do by yourself something. So it is how my life as a, let's say, scientist, and after this chief engineer who built the huge stuff for Soviet defense, turned me to the world entrepreneur. That's all. So it is very simple. It's a simple life. So you making choice always. You need to always make the choice and take the best decision for yourself. And of course, not you need to manage surrounding, of course, but idea anyway. You need to make the best decision.
And go ahead, Elif.
And then you founded Almaz Capital, which is one of the biggest VCs right now. Could you also please give us some more information about Almaz Capital?
Yeah, all my companies I built on the way that I knew that all tech kitchen is sitting in California, and you cannot prepare some nice dish if you didn't visit kitchen. Yes, so you need to see how chef is doing, and you would like to repeat the same story. So by this way, the biggest market for consuming any technology is Silicon Valley still. And from this perspective, from 90s, I started to work definitely with Valley, but I understand it is difficult to find the good engineers. They're busy, or they occupied, or they have better opportunity, or they have already made the risk. So, and I knew that region from which I am, it is pretty engineering driven. So from this perspective, I have tons of pretty good engineers with whom I managed like almost 1,000 of them. And I knew like each one, I selected each year 20, 30 best one to join my team. And I mean, in my, let's say, Soviet job. And I decided, okay, why not to try to build something and to be crazy enough to build something good. So, and I started with my engineering background. And engineering background sometimes did not help. We can speak about many, many, many mistakes. But in general, engineering background is nice, but you need to understand what and why you are doing this. So it just makes the stories that I built these cross-border companies, which is had all execution and marketing and all like sales in Silicon Valley, but my engineers was on the other part of the ocean, and I decided that fund need to be the same. So I decided to build structure of the fund, which is help to guys who has global dream, but to realize them in country, even in Turkey, which is pretty big. It is tough, yeah. So since since to build a technological company, especially in B2B in this region, is pretty difficult since the markets are very small. Even the European market is very small. You take a Germany or something in comparison to US or Chinese. So from this perspective, and also Europe not consumes high tech pretty fast. I remember this old remarks that nobody will be fired for buying IBM mainframe. Yes, so since it is pretty good computer, but when you buy something from young guys who build something, you will be fired next days. And the Europeans very like opportunistic to do some crazy stuff. And it is bridge fund for me was similar idea to continue what I did not realize or what I wanted to realize through other companies.
Do you have geographical restrictions in your fund, or which kinds of companies do you fund? Early stage or a little bit A rounds?
I will say we prefer to have A rounds when product is ready and we can prove that product is working. And we mostly put money in B2B since B2B is global. B2C always local, B2B is always global. And from this perspective, we pick up companies which can be realized a global dream. That is first one. The second one, what stage? Usually A. Sometimes we are doing seed. We try to do seed a few times. In fund one, we try to do seed, and this became Runa Capital. After this, we try to do again in fund two to do seed to support any entrepreneur who got some good angels or some good seed fund to lead, and we just put drop money. But we found that this model doesn't work if we didn't involve from day one. Since if we gave someone money and they doing their own mistakes and everything, and or they making their own successes without these guys who gave them money, why they invite them to the next round? So it is not reason. So these guys did not help. So if you put money in the company, you immediately need to be active as a company. It is what we learned, and we decided that we put money in seed investment only if you know entrepreneurs from previous life or someone whom we trust too much or a lot, give us a good recommendation. But mostly we are doing Series A.
So Series A investments also varies on the geographical, different locations. So how much you can say your ticket size are between?
Yeah, I will say that geographically we understand that countries in Eastern Europe or Central Europe was very small. Mm-hmm. And of course we see that they need to move pretty fast to Silicon Valley. So as I told, we have our difference from other bridge funds, we are doing both way bridge. So we are open. We are not like diet here. So we like going back and forth. And one type of bridge of companies which are doing it is actually to find company which would like to get to good market, and we are making for them help to go there to Silicon Valley. It is where our office is located. And after this, we are looking for companies in Silicon Valley. And this company sometimes needs engineers. And to get the quality engineers in Silicon Valley, it is too tough. It is almost impossible task right now, since they all occupied by Google, Facebook, with good bonuses,
and
with
also
good
too expensive, probably.
And they become too expensive. I will not say that expenses it is most important point. It is difficult to find loyal, stable team which will support you in some difficulties, to support entrepreneur first of all. And we started to make this different way of bridge to find a great company in Silicon Valley who need to grow not through marketing efforts, but through like engineering efforts to build a great product. And we have pretty good experience with teams in Hungary, in Ukraine. In Ukraine, we built team in 3 years for 300 people. And it is like a company now like unicorn company. So from this perspective, I will say we have this two-way bridge. But geographically, of course, we have some limitations since we have money from institutions like European Bank of Reconstruction, and they, of course, like cover some area, sole name, emergent countries. But in Fund 3, we just didn't have ability to invest in Russia. So we cannot support Russian team anymore. So it is where we have some kind of restriction, but all emerging markets, even including Turkey, we have European part of Turkey and Asian part of Turkey. So we can support.
So how do you get the deal flow? Which channels do you get in startups, and how do you select them? And which questions do you ask in the meeting?
No, questions, it is easy. Yes, so any venture capitalist asks some question. It is like all venture capitalists ask questions almost the same when they doing the due deal in the first meeting, second meeting, in third meeting become different. But not many companies go in there for the third meeting or first meeting. And as all venture capitalists say no the same way. So, and to say no, it is easy since you would like to keep relationship with the company, who knows. But in general, how we get in pipeline, we get in from many sources. Yeah, we became visible. When you become invisible as a person or as a company, it is easy to get pipeline. You get a lot of guys who are getting you through some references, some people speaking about you. Since entrepreneurs need to learn about venture capitalists with whom they would like to work, they need to select them, as we select the companies, since they need to understand, are we real smart VC or we just playing game to be smart? They need to understand, are we in this sector? Are we have connections? Are we have some ability to help to the company? And from this perspective, it is a selection going in both directions. By pipeline is going through our connections, of course. We try to participate in conferences, and like right now, I'm speaking of this with you guys. And of course, someone possibly will send their proposal for me, and I will look and say, oh, it is great, or I will say, oh, it is too great for me. Sorry, I will wait. But in general, it is how we build our pipeline. There is no big trick, yes. So, but of course, when you got name like Sequoia, everybody knocking your door. Even sometimes you're not doing so well, but in general you become pretty like visible. So we are not so visible, but for our region I think we are recognizable people. And some our partners in the US, I mean the guys from top tier VC companies, they also becoming our source of companies since we did something with them together, or they understand we can help for some companies and to empower the engineering team. So it is giving for us some kind of good stuff. As for what amount of money we're giving, from 500 to 3, 4, 5 million in the first round. Since usually our model it is to keep for company 15 million together with resource. So we have to play with resource for best champions. Of course, all companies come in the same good quality when we invest, and we think it is a great, but it is common life that something move in wrong direction inside company, inside market, inside head of entrepreneurs. So, and you started to become champion. I have this possibly stupid explanation how venture capital is working. So it is like entrepreneur looking for, it is like always explained as entrepreneur, it is like single mom and single dad with lovely baby who is looking for partner who will help to grow this baby. And he's meeting a great guy or great lady who joined him for family. But this person is not so good person since he has many families like this, and he supports many kids, and sometimes some kids become very lovely, and you started to spend more time with some more lovely kids and try to help them to grow more fast and to be more smart. So,
and what are your red flags in a meeting with a startup? This was also a question from our audience. What you don't like?
No, usually in B2C, B2B business, where I am in like deep tech or close to deep tech, environments. Of course, you look in, it is typical venture capital. I will sell bullshit. We are looking for the big market, very fast-growing market. We are looking for the company which is have pretty unique or very defensive technology, and we look for the companies thinking how they can execute, go to market, sales. We all see for this old questions and going this around, but major is common team. So team staying on number 5 position, but after this becoming first. And actual red flag usually team. So you started to look on complementary of the team, and you see, for example, that team is missing some components. More important, they don't speak about is they hide is that when they open and tell, oh, we know how to do it, but we don't know what to do with some stuff. We need to have a marketing guy. We need to have some help in this direction. When they speak openly, so it is like going to yellow flag. Yeah. So even they not so even they are not so established and experienced entrepreneurs. And experience for me doesn't mean very with a lot of successes. For me, experience with failures as well. So since you have more scars and you have more fights and you know better all problems, I know this on my body as well. I have scars. But since when you fail, you actually thinking about a lot about why you fell. When you win, you just open champagne and happy. Yes. So, and from this perspective, it is like two different approaches how you look on the team. But fast team is more critical. And of course, any entrepreneurs would like to build picture more consistent and more bright and everything. And of course, little bit of lie exists in each speech, but if it is too much lie, of course, it is red flag. So since Truth and Lies of Silicon Valley, like famous book, which is Game Bad Blood, it is given all explanation why entrepreneurs sometimes move into the wrong direction. So, and when you listen to this, you understand. Yeah, so.
Which domains, by the way, are you interested in to invest on? Also, after the COVID outbreak, which domains will be more trendy?
You know, COVID, I don't of course, that everybody, when it didn't touch you, COVID didn't touch you, or didn't touch your relatives or your close friends or something, you think it is a plus. I did it was in isolation any day. I will say I was too busy to meet people and to continue to be active. And somehow it is like COVID came around me, or I already was sick before. I don't know, since I had some feelings that I was sick before. But in general, idea, I will say that COVID from technological perspective brought us 10 years ahead in many directions. So 10 years ahead, how we would like to use e-commerce, how we would like to use many stuff, how we would like to transfer medicine or something, healthcare. And more important in direction where we are, it is actually IoT and artificial intelligence in edge, in center, all the stuff related to remote ability to do something. It is actually our direction. And it is like move to us, it is all closer. When people have ability to wait, now they understand if they doesn't have smart machinery, like didn't put IoT in some kind, let's say, turbine or water pump or something, so they will lose in future. So if something happens like this, they even don't have ability to send team to repair it. And to have risk to send the team. And people understand this technology can be useful, remote repayment or remote, at least configuration or remote ability to watch what is going on. It is example which is pushing changing of whole industry of machinery, for example, since people understand that they have ability to reduce even their costs, and they don't need to open all distribution and all support teams over the world if they have prediction of what happened with their machinery, for example. I'm making this small example, but in general, if you touch everything, so you will see that COVID moves that people need to stay away from many things. How to do it? It has need to be more smart, and I mean intellectually more smart machines, so like devices which is working with them. And the second one, it is like it is need to be like moved more reliable protocols and many other stuff. So, and it has moved banking industry, it has moved any industry which you see right now. So of course it is like not so good for shared economy, I will say right now. So since we need to look for some kind of new way how we're thinking about it, but it is for part of shared economy. Since we can have shared crayons, we can have shared equipment and many other stuff. So we just need to keep some kind of hygiene and to keep going. Yes, so but it is some kind of stuff which is make a request for more robust network, for more robust intellectual devices, for low consumption power stuff, many stuff, which, as I told, move us ahead of 10, 15, and especially in education. When many people spoke about education as a part of which is like, okay, even me thought, oh, it will be one new Google or something big, huge in education area. Nothing happened during the 5, 6, 7 years, since people still prefer to have physical contact. But look what is going on right now with kids education, with student education. It is like move ahead what actually needed to be happening in 10, 15 years. Same for these conferences, you see. So we are doing them differently as well.
Yes, exactly. And you talk about the failures also in the previous question. So, and you should probably meet a lot of startups. What do you think are the common mistakes that entrepreneurs do in early stages, and why do they mostly fail?
You know, it is it is from different directions. Yes, so one direction, it is how they operate with customers. In B2B, we always told be focused. Yeah, so it is very important point. And many entrepreneurs didn't listen it. So since they meet in many customers, and many customers telling them different stories, what they would like to get from them. It is again like sometimes it is very polite no, and some entrepreneurs did not recognize this, and they go in again. Oh, this guy told me if I'll have these features, it will be like deal done. But it's small lie. So since if I am liked so much, I will sign some agreement and try to put in lab and to see what else need to be added there, even I know what need to be added. So the second pretty big and important mistake is that they hire in salespeople pretty fast. I mean in B2B stuff. Since I remember that Wimbledon, it is a famous venture capital lady. So she told pretty clear a long time for me ago when I still was entrepreneur that till entrepreneur achieve it, this was in 90s, yeah. So it achieved $1 million sales in sales. He doesn't need to hire any sales. So since the point is a comment that when you hire a salesperson and he's not deep technological guy, and he like go in and sell what he can sell, and sometimes he sell completely different what team built. And again, this comment was a lot of excuses why sales not coming, since you guys didn't build something. And from other side, it is coming from point of view that entrepreneurs getting too many requests of their product line what to build. So it's like from this side. Another mistake which they're doing is financial mistakes, of course. It is most of them doing financial mistakes. Since they, especially from our region, the people very, very careful about cost of their company, capital, what they raise, and what ownership they kept, and everything like this. And they didn't build their financial plan how to achieve like $100 million company. I mean, in sales and become $1 billion in, let's say, in cap. But they would like to keep as small possible their shares. So it is dilution. Yeah, dilution going, and how you work with dilution, how you work with option plan, and to motivate team and motivate yourself to be like driven seat and run the company. So it is two mistakes from different angles. And thought is very like stuff related to the team. So I always tell you need to hire very slowly and to fire very fast. So it is like you cannot hire pretty fast people around yourself, build team and everything, since many stuff done by small teams. And after this, when you need to productize this or need to have better looking stuff and everything, you started to increase team size and to have support engineers and everything. So sometimes people like got money and started to hire. So in the past time, it was exist also, if you remember when Apple came on the market and became like almost a piece of fashion. So all entrepreneurs, I remember I gave some entrepreneurs money, and next day they came to with Apple computers for the meeting. And I said, okay, this company will not run. And it was like this. So they just spent money pretty fast. So you need to be very careful to spend money. It is one of the big mistakes which people do.
And do you have anti-portfolio or some startups that regretfully you didn't invest, a kind of startups that you missed?
Yes, of course. Anyone is doing this. I didn't put money in the Ring Central, for example, which lately came to IPO, and now they're like 14 billion or something company. And you know, it is difficult to say why. I know I will not say why, but in general, it is for this reason. Even Sequoia invited us to join them, and we told no. And the second one, it is a pass from Romania. So we also pass. So, and after this, we like, okay, this was a stupid mistake, and then Lupo did great job. Yes. So, but in general, he invited us, and we stupidly passed. And this is for me, since I missed few meetings, and I like relate to other people to make decision, and I think it is my mistake, personal mistake.
Uh-huh. And which are yes, go ahead.
What about the success stories of your portfolio? Which startups impressed you most after getting invested by you?
Sorry, I missed your question. Since it is you pass. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sure. Could you please tell us also about your success stories of the startups in your portfolio? What impressed you most after you invested in them?
You know, it is each, when you put money, yes, I told, in each company, you're already impressed. It is, I told, you have lovely baby with lovely lady, so everything. You have lovely baby to grow. And something going wrong. And something going wrong, and with some companies, they just going up. But you always surprised by companies which is going very like lean, not growing, and like staying like, and you thought, okay, how long I will support them? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It is most difficult question for venture capital to cut baby and to say, no, you alone, I will not care about you. And we have one company which I pretty like. It is Hover in first fund, and they like growing like crazy. So 5 years, they almost no revenue. They turned their model actually 2 times. I mean that pivot 2 or 3 times. So since a great technology, when you have great technology, you can do pivots. When you don't have technology, you cannot do pivots. You die your life. But when you have technology, you have ability to find it. It is not new story like PayPal started a security company, not as a company which became payment company, fintech company. So, and the same like with many guys, yeah. So since and Hover came with idea to build actually 3D building stories. Yeah, so like you make pictures of something, and they decided to fight with Google Street View, since Google Street View going with the cars, and they had the CTO who came, who built Google Street View. Everything was great. It is great company with great technology, but who pay for this? Yes, so okay. The idea was tourists making picture of San Francisco, and it is you get all pictures from social networking. You get a live picture of San Francisco, since people making picture of selfies always, yeah. And nobody pay for this, nobody full. But when they turn this, that you can get understanding what's the cost of repayment to your house when you make few pictures of your house and send this to construction company. Construction company immediately save $200-$300, or you save $300-$200, and deal is done. So it means that it is moved completely to the different stage of the relationship between owner of the house and construction. And after this move to insurance, since when it is hurricane came and destroyed some houses, it is long time when all these inspectors will go around and will make picture. You came out from your ruins, make pictures of your ruins, send to insurance company, and they immediately give you some estimation of the cost of your damage from my financial point of view. And this company started to rock. So it has happened like flat company, and after it's growing. And you have different example. You have champions who grew, and you told it is IPO coming, it will be great. And after they stop. Since the market is different, if you go in and sell company, you regret, and you sell company. But even sometimes you divide company for two to sell it.
So, and I would like to ask, of course, coming to end of our interview, but we have many questions as well, me too. Of course, you mentioned about the COVID outbreak situation very well in the first questions, but the economy is going to be slowing down. What do you recommend, especially for the startups, to survive longer in this period?
If you raise capital, so spend less. That is one. If you raise capital, take more. two, and if people giving you money, raise more. Even if you like with small evaluation or something, in the long run, it is most important point. So the second one, you need to, of course, to make estimation, is your technology can help solve something which has became pretty visible to solve right now. What COVID given for you? Since each disaster bringing that, of course, a lot of unhappy time, but a lot of opportunities, yes. And from this perspective, you need to look on this, how you can tune your company or how you can pivot your company if you have found some problem. So the most important point which we need to understand, we cannot create company if we don't know problem. So when we know problem, it is why Silicon Valley booming, since it is all concentration of knowledge of the high-tech world, all problem of high-tech world coming there from all sales offices overseas. Yes, so and if you met problem and you see that you can solve it, it is why you need to tune your company. So by this way, it is only three suggestions. One is keep money if you have money, raise as much as possible, and look for the ability to tune in some direction which you saw during the COVID.
Mm-hmm. And yes, please go ahead. Should you give us more insight about your expectation on the internet market this year? How it's going to be? The investors, do you think, will be keeping on investing? And
no, it just depends from quality of LPs. Yeah, it just depends not just for investors. If I have fund in beginning, it is time to invest, since I can invest in many interesting companies when others cannot invest or others have some problem. So I have much bigger pool of my pipeline to select something good. If I have stable LPs. But problem with LPs that some LPs, if it is family office or it is corporation or I don't know, doesn't matter. It is like private person. So the COVID can bring for them some non-expected, let's say, troubles, and they have about ability to short the investment as well. So what you can do? So you need to be very careful with spending of money, since you also will be like trouble not to have money as a VC. It is where slow down on VC, I see. Not from point of view of opportunities. If you have stable LPs and you have opportunity to raise from stable LPs, you will continue to do your job, since it is the best time to invest. Even remotely.
Sasha, thank you very much for your valuable time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Valuable insights and experience. Hope we can meet you face to face in Istanbul after this outbreak completes. We will be very happy to welcome you in Istanbul at Startup Istanbul event as well. And stay safe and healthy.
You too, guys. Okay. And everyone who is listening. Okay. Bye.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.